Welcome back. In this video we'll be making some T-nuts. The table on the Nichols tool room miller has two different sizes of T-slots. And I already have a clamping set that gives me nuts for a 1/2 inch slot. But I like to mount the vise on the middle slot, and that way it's fully on the center of the table. And I'd like to stop using these silly bolts. Since this is a milling machine project, it would be really nice if I had some T-nuts that already fit the middle slot. And I've got these, and they kind of fit. But let's make some better ones. Here's a quick drawing of my part, and here's a piece of hot rolled steel, and let's go over to the bandsaw. Alright, we're here at the bandsaw, and I've given myself 1/4 inch more than the finished part so that I have some to take off and make sure the part is square. And I set this at with the depth stop on the calipers up against the blade. And it's still pretty hot, but let's see what we have here. I know it didn't. I can see just by looking at it that it's not the same on both sides, and that's kind of a bummer because I put a square up against my saw blade before I set this up. So, well, that's why I gave myself a lot more room to mill off. So, got a stone now, no more piece of glass. And I've decided that this is the top of the part. I already have laid out 1/4 inch on this side and the top. And this side, I'll be taking 1/4 inch off of the bottom too. And now time for the center line. I've measured the rough width of this here to be 1.389 inches. Half of that is 0.694, so let's set the height gauge to that. 0.694. Okay. I'll do just a touch, flip it over, and see that that's actually the center. Yes, it is. And these are like sanity check lines, rather than, actual lines that I'll be, using as my main guide. Alright, got a piece of masking tape on the part, and once the cutter starts to rip the tape, then I'll know that I'm at 0 or very close to it. Alright, so I've got to remove 1/4 of an inch off of the bottom. This is the bottom. 15 thousandths. Alright, I've got a roughing end mill in here. I'm going to take 200 thousandths off of the width and the depth so that I can finish it with a finishing end mill. Here is 15 thousandths. So I've changed out our tool for a 2-flute finishing end mill. We're going to take a pass to start to clean up the tool marks on that and take that to our size. I'm coming up on the last 5 thousandths on this side, and I need to take a measurement. So I need to cut the burr off, and the way I'm doing it is with this dental pick, and that's nice because I can put this rounded, not sharp side right down on the vice jaw without worrying about scraping up the vice jaw. And I'm done with milling at this stage, and that's a nice fit. Yep. So now it's on to sawing these off, and then I will drill my holes. I thought I'd show you a little bit of the filing I'm doing. I'm filing these parts because these are going to get blued. I start with a real large file, and it's a real machete of a lawnmower file. But there's a saying that goes, the most work will be done with minimal effort using the largest file available for that purpose. I start with this large file, and I move on to a second cut and then a smooth. I'm looking for a dead smooth file, but I don't have that yet. So there's the finish that we got by draw filing, and to me this finish looks a lot like this. This is a handle from a mortise lock. This is a finish we call 26D satin chrome, and it's not the same satin chrome as what you get on an instrument. But this is a nice finish, and it's going to make the bluing come out even better. I'm going to file the sides just a little bit too, and I'll do that off camera. I thought you might like to see what the finish looks like before I drill holes and cut them into 4 pieces. These sides I did with just the second cut. This I did with up to the smooth, and of course the back I finished with the smooth too. My center line has changed too, so I'm going to mark that out again. One part. Got my calipers depth set to 1 1/16. And that doesn't have to be all that accurate, and it can't be. It's a bandsaw. Or it's one of these bandsaws. I'll be finishing all 4 of these gangs up in the mill. So what you see here is an experiment. I've ganged all 4 of these T-nuts kind of meshed with each other, and I'm going to deck the top off. And I oversized these parts, or I sawed them off a 1/16 of an inch or so oversized. The bandsaw doesn't really, get that accurate. And I'm going to deck the top off of these and go for 1 inch. The size doesn't really matter all that much to me so long as they're all the same size. We're getting very near the end. Drilling, easy stuff. I'm gonna do 1 step on all parts and change tools less frequently. Usually I'll change tools more frequently, but I thought of an easy way to set them up with these parallels. I'll go in there just like a 1/16 of an inch. Yeah. And I'm gonna get this tap started the poor man's way, which is precisely like this. Drill press is unplugged, and here we go. Go press is also not bolted to the floor. And you're not going to be able to, my hand's going to be in the way most of this, so I'm going to do this really off camera. Okay, got the vise all cleaned up, and we can go on to tapping these parts. And the whole deal about drilling a little bit of it, the nominal size, is of course one of the tricks that Tubal Cain talks about. And over here we're going to be doing another one. And what it is I'm going to not tap it all the way. I'm sticking my finger underneath here just to feel how much of the tap is poking out, and I'm going to let about 1/8 of an inch or so of the tap stick out, about that much. And I'll do that for all of them. And that way the screw will bottom out before it exits the T-nut. So here we are at the finish line, and we get to blue these parts now. I'm using Birchwood Casey's Perma-blue. And usually I like to follow the instructions, which tells me to apply it with a sponge, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to just submerge them and let them sit there for a little bit. The next one I'm going to zoom in so you can see just how fast this thing turns black. Okay, here's the next one. And watch how quickly this, shiny steel T-nut turns black. And that's about all the way there. Going to look at that. Here are the completed T-nuts, and they fit that middle slot in the milling table perfectly. Originally, I made these thinking that the table slot was 5/8, and no, it's not. But these are the right ones, and pretty soon I'll be putting the milling vise on these instead.